Okay, hope everybody's having a nice weekend. Today is December 6, 2015. In this video, I'm just going to go to some of the momentum stock that we've been following and we've been talking about. So I'm just going to go to a quick update on these. Also clean up the chart a little bit. Some of the price level I've been showing have been removed, and just kind of looking at some of these trend line here, and also some of the key level, or the level that is a little bit more applicable for the near term. So looking at Apple here, we'll see that Apple is trying to make a little bit of a push to come up, get above this 120 level, and there's a trend line that's coming down here. So if we could get above this trend line, we're really basically looking at this level here, this pivot high 122.82. If we keep up that, get above that level, then we're probably looking at this gap fill here that we've been talking about. Also, essentially been monitoring this gap fill level somewhere around. Let me put this on here, so we could add this back. This gap fill level somewhere around up here at the 127 level. If we could get this gap fill, then we'll probably be looking back at this maybe this 133 close. I think there's a all-time high close for Apple, which is back up here. Okay, so basically looking at this particular close, if it get the gap fill back up. Okay, then on Facebook, Facebook is still trending on this essentially this what's that, the price channel that we got drawn in here. Kind of nudge it a little bit, so we get this this peak here, pretty much hitting that upper trend line. So you can see that it could be pulling back, but I think still looking for the momentum to continue to push this thing to up at this 110 level here, and possibly make another new all-time high. So essentially we're looking for this thing to push back up at least to this pivot high as this 110.65, and possibly get up to this trend line here somewhere around this 112 on the near term. So we do have to watch this thing to might pull back to this 101 level, the 618 here, because we're essentially looking for this retracement bounce and get up to this 110.65, then possibly get up to this 117 on the 127 extension, but then that would break this upper trend line here on this price channel. So it might be a little bit of time, in terms of time, might be a little bit while before it could make a push on that. So I do see that they might try to tag this this trend line again, then we might get a little bit of a pullback. But for now, essentially it's just kind of monitoring for this break here, right, this 107.95, somewhere around this 108. If we break above this level, then we're basically looking at this thing to try to come back up and tag this 110, and maybe possibly get up to this 112. Okay. And then for Amazon is still hugging this price channel, and again, similar to Facebook, still looking for this thing to maybe continue to tag this this trend line up here, and possibly get up to this 700 level at this 141 extension on this Fibonacci retracement. If you go back and take a look at, essentially this is the swing that we're looking at. Came down this 618, kind of broke out of this pivot high here, this 100% on the last earning report, and the gap up. So it kind of faded a little bit, then come up and book above that that earning pop, and ever since it's just kind of been coming up and tagging this this upper trend line here. So we're probably looking at this somewhere, try to get up to this $700 level on Amazon. So I might want to keep an eye on that. And if it pull back, we're basically looking for a pullback, maybe back up to the back down to the 619 area. Okay. And for Netflix, same thing. We're basically looking at this trend line bounce here, and this 115 resistant. It got that, and then now it booked you, and it's trying to tag this pivot high, and it finally booked you and closed above that last Friday at 129.29, above this pivot high here. So essentially we're looking for this thing to continue to make a further high here, newer high. because it looked like it's still got some more momentum to go. Now then on the side note, let's see what we could conjure up in terms of possible level here to watch. Okay, so you can see that we traced to this 38.2. Then it just kind of bounced around this retracement zone. Okay, so what we're basically looking at is maybe this 127 and 148.50. That's one of the possible target for the near term. Okay. And then Google or Alphabet, again similar to Amazon. So it's basically hugging this trend line here. Okay, you got a little bit of a channel. We might see a little bit of a pullback, but right now it seems like it got an inside bar. Might be pushing up to this, above this 141. So it's still trying to get above this 785, and if we, 800 is not inconceivable in near term. Looking at this thing coming up to this trend line here. But if it's a pullback, we'll probably see a little bit of a pullback and could come down and retest this 713. But for now, we're essentially looking for the continuation move into the 800 level. But if this happened to be the peak, then we could also look at this particular swing. Then the pullback could be this 726 to this 713, and depending which Fibonacci retracement this price action gonna react to. Okay, so and then we got Twitter. Twitter is still trying to find a bottom here. Okay, although it's showing a slight upward slope here on the getting a little bit of a higher low, but we need to see can it get back above the 2830 here and essentially break this trend line, possibly get back up to this 3150. If we could get above this pivot, then maybe there's some hope for Twitter to make it back up and try to break this essentially the 38 level. Okay. Tesla came down and got a nice bounce off this trend line, so it might be working up to this particular upper trend line here. So we probably see maybe potential resistance somewhere around this 245 area. Okay. And then on IBB we got a nice got a nice bounce off of this trend line. You encounter some resistance at 341. So right now it seems to be trying to hold above this trend line. But it could come down and retest this 314 area, but we're basically looking for a retest of the 341.25, and if we could break above that, if we put up a little bit of Fibonacci retracement here, we can see this 127 at 356 and 141 364. So it's near this pivot high here. So we're going to see can it get above this 341.25. If we could get above that, then we'd be monitoring for the 356 364 level as a potential target. Okay. Let's see, and the other one I want to put up is BABA. You can see that BABA kind of broke through this downtrend here. And made a move up to this pivot level here, and then kind of pulled back. Got a nice bounce off of this support here, okay, on this trend line. So we got a little bit of a steep price channel, but it's been hugging this trend line here. So we're probably looking for this thing to see can it get above this 8640. Okay, so if it could get above this 8640, then the next level of resistance is probably this pivot high at 95. And also getting near to the upper trend line. So again, if we also put up a little bit of a Fibonacci retracement, you can see that it came pretty close to the 618 before it got this little bounce here. So if you're gonna try to play this bounce off of this trend line, kind of have to be careful because we might encounter some resistance and get a little pullback. So one way to lower the risk is maybe wait until it pop above this 8642 and then look for a pullback to retest this as a support. Then you get a nice little bounce off the trend line here. Okay, the level that we're watching, or I was watching, is basically at this level here somewhere, near the 78, 79. Okay, so but still is hugging this trend line and look like it's going to try to break out of this 8642 and get up to this 80, this 94 area. So certainly 90 might be a in the card here for the near term for MOMO. But again, if we break this trend line, then we're probably looking for maybe a little bit of a retest coming back down to somewhere around this 75 to this area here. This essentially the 79, 80, 79 to 80 down to the 75. Okay, so that's a quick look on the some of the momentum stock. Good luck next week.